Hey everyone, it's Susan here with some inspiration and guidance for you for this week beginning the 10th of September. We do have a new moon in Virgo coming up this week, so that's already starting to have its influence. A lot of what I'm seeing for this week is, I want to say, a huge opportunity for healing for these old wounds that have been coming to the surface of late. And so the standstill that we've had recently, so we've got all these planets in retrograde. I spoke about it in my last week's reading that there will be many of you that have had things missing in your life. And the missing things relate to safety and security, and they relate to love. So where those things have not been shown to you, where you haven't felt safe within yourself, that's the underlying energy that is really rising up to the surface, and it's calling you to take some action now. Now, on a new moon, it's a time to visualize and imagine what it is that you want in your life. That is more, and because it's a Virgo new moon, it will be, what do you want to bring in that is more soft and flowing? What do you want to bring in that is more supportive of you? So very much this week, I would encourage you that if there has been sadness, if there's been this feeling that what you want you've never had, and that's been the pervading energy, or that you felt that other people aren't treating you right, that you're not being valued, you're not being honored, you're not being considered, those are the primary energies at the moment that we are being called to step into our own power with and start to say, how do I change this situation? So you change it firstly by recognizing it's there. So this whole thing of honesty, like really being, doing a stock take, because spring is always a time for spring cleaning anyway. So we spring clean our stuff. But it's very deep and it's very intense, this energy at the moment. And the way I see it is that we are being called to really go deeply within. And that's what retrograde cycles are about. Reflecting, remembering, but repositioning and revisiting things in a way that shows us what we need to change, because change can never happen with someone else. There might be people in your life that you want to be different, that you wish they would treat you differently. So the only way that can happen is for you to change within yourself what it is that you believe you're worth, number one. And when you know that you're worth more, you will act differently. So you'll set stronger boundaries. So this week, overwhelm is very much online. So it's setting strong boundaries and visioning on the new moon exactly what it is that you would like to have in your life, so that you can see and feel what it feels like when you have that energy of love. The earthquake that recently happened, and so much love and healing being sent to that place right now. But what we are being shown by Mother Earth, it happened at 11:11, by the way. And I kind of know that this is an awakening. It's saying there's so much pressure underneath that is coming to the surface. And that pressure may not be within you, but it might be within people that you're sharing your life with, or that happen to influence your life. So if you do have people around you that are exceptionally angry or controlling, or they're the two energies that I'm tapping into, is the controlling energy and the angry energy. Because as we go into 2024, and we're really moving into that energy now, this is a time of the correct use of power. So for you this week, on the new moon in Virgo, it would be to use this energy of awakening that is going on to tap into that deepest part of yourself, and to really tap in and say, well, if I could revision this relationship with whoever it is, or the perceived relationship I'd like to have, then what would that look like? What would it feel like? So that you can really put energy into it. The energy of Saint Germain is very strong on the planet at the moment too. So the violet flame energy, the energy of transmutation. And transmutation happens when we change something that is really heavy to something really beautiful and light. So heaviness that is around at the moment, that is up for transmutation, is that energy I spoke of earlier: disappointment, sadness, grief, exclusion, loneliness, being controlled, feeling that you don't have the voice that you would like to have, perhaps not feeling listened to, not feeling that you are going to get the degree of love that you're looking for. So that love that you're seeking, and at every level we are all seeking love. It might be, gratitude for the work that you do. It might be attracting a partner or having a deeper relationship with a partner. It might be through your friendships or through the relationships you have with your family. But we're all seeking love, and we're all looking and often questioning ourselves as to why the people we care about are the way they are. So this week, this energy of transmutation would call you to sit in the violet flame. So the violet flame is something you can bring forward in your meditation, and just ask as you sit in that violet flame to transmute anything within you that holds that frequency of disappointment, sadness, or separation. Because I really know that this week, this new moon is a very soft energy. It's going to break this cycle that we've had of things coming to a head, but also things standing still. So that standing still energy that we've had for a couple of weeks, it can bring up, as I said, all those feelings of insecurity, feelings of loss, feelings of not being safe. Now, when you tap into that well of love that's inside you, when you tap into that well of love that is you begin to connect more with the universal energies. And the universe itself is a benign place. There is a huge amount of overwhelm at the moment. There's a huge amount of, as I said, this anger coming up from under the surface. And it's rattling old foundations. It's rattling old things that need to move away. Now, it's so sad, that we have people that are collateral damage when there are things like earthquakes or wars. But one of the things I understand, and I don't know what your belief is, but I always know that before we come in, that we have some understanding of the type of life we're going to have or the challenges. But I believe we choose our entry and exit points. And the fact that that earthquake happened at 11:11, it's saying to me that we have to wake up as a collective. We have to start helping our neighbours, have to start helping each other and helping ourselves. And firstly, of course, we've got to help ourselves. But you see, this correct use of power, there is if you look at war, if you look at the energy of what's going on, Russia, Ukraine, all of these kind of things, China, Taiwan, the internal things going on in America, and every country has got its own internal wars going on. It's this belief that people are either less than, or that, that there is a need to dominate. And you see, if everybody was helped, not in the victim sense of the word, because I really feel that victim consciousness is what this week largely is about. It's about understanding that feeling of victim consciousness, where it may be within you, or where you might feel it for the poor people that have experienced what they've experienced. But on a bigger scale, on a spiritual scale, what I know is that this victim energy is for us to get out of that and be able to offer help to people. Because if people around us get the help that they need and they can then look after themselves, then it doesn't matter if they overtake us or if they become more than us. Who cares? What we want to develop on this planet is a place where everybody wants to see everybody else doing well, wants to see everybody else succeeding, and not everybody fighting over each other to have a small piece of something. So I believe this week we're being called as a collective, not just the individual work this week. I really want to reach out to those of you that are awake, and that's all of you watching. And I want to say to you, do not underestimate the power of your prayers. Do not underestimate the power that you have to disengage from the noise, to tap into your heart, to call the angelic frequencies through, but to ask them to boost your energy, your field, your heart, your soul, but to ask them to bring their colors, their vibrations, their insights, their inspiration to you, so that you can start to feel empowered and whole. And as you do that, that reverberates out to all of those people that you care about. And it will shift you if there's any residue of victim consciousness within you. And it's within all of us, by the way. So, you know, it's something that we all have, because we all live in societies where we have a government, and the government dictate what we do, and they dictate how we live to a large degree. And we've come from a place where, you know, many years ago, we lived in small communities. We were self-governing, and everybody kind of got on until everybody got to that point where it was, well, I want what that person's got, or they've got more than me, and I'm just going to take it. So really, we're being called back to self-responsibility, accepting that whatever or wherever you're at in your life at the moment, that there's always change that you can bring in. But at some level, we've all created exactly what we've got at this stage. Doesn't mean we can't recreate it, and that's what this week's new moon is about. So I know that got a bit heavy, but I just feel it has to be said that we are in dire times in many ways, but we're also in beautifully transformative and creative times. So as we go into this week's new moon, I would encourage you to tap into your intuition, to tap into your heart, to call on the feminine, that flowing, intuitive, nurturing, but strong energy. Man or woman watching this, call on the divine feminine. Call on that part of you that really would say, just come here and rest, and everything's going to be okay. So I'm going to use Denise Lynn, I think it is. Denise Lynn Sacred Destiny cards. These were really calling to me. They're very soft, they're very beautiful, just to give us a little bit maybe of something a bit lighter. And look, I don't shy away from things, that I just know that there is so much violence that is coming up through the earth energy, and it's not violent. The earth is just releasing pressure. We've got to be able to start to communicate. We've got to be able to start to express our fears, express our disappointments, express our boundaries, so that we can create this free-flowing energy where we can communicate without people taking, you know, being offended or people getting upset. It's kind of like us being able to step into that energy of peace and love. So what do we have else to look forward to this week? Okay, beautiful crane there flying up against the sun, and the word is patience. So as we are in this standstill energy, be patient with what is unfolding for you. I know that the shifts many of you are going through at this point in time are probably the biggest shifts you might ever experience in this lifetime for you. They will be things that cause you to doubt yourself or doubt the world, doubt the universe. But what is coming for you is the opportunity for something to build, something to create, something to step into that is truly beautiful and sustaining, life-giving. Same thing, life-giving, sustaining, beautiful, loving. So have patience with yourself this week. Have patience with the system. And when I'm saying that, I'm kind of seeing as well a lot of internet kind of things being really, you know, frustrating this week. A lot of things not working the way we'd like them to. So it could be things breaking down where we need to renew them, or, you know, decide, do we want them anymore? It's a lot of patience for this week. Okay. What else do we have coming on this week? Yeah, okay. This is a big one, right? Forgiveness. And that forgiveness is mainly for you. What will you give yourself? And I always say forgiving is about giving yourself space, giving yourself grace. Forgiving yourself for whatever you believe you haven't done, or you haven't got, or you haven't created, or you haven't been able to manifest, or things that you've done in the past that you did because you didn't know any different. It's kind of, can you bring that energy of forgiveness into yourself? Because by doing that, again, that will reverberate out. And it may be that there are people in your life too that you need to express hurt, so that forgiveness can be something that you give each other. Because I really do feel at the moment that we need to be expressing more and more, because everything that has not been said in the past, it builds up. Now, I always say that if you're going to talk to someone about hurt, it's really good to actually work on your own anger first, write about it, release it, let it go. Don't go in there guns blazing, but go in there to have an adult conversation that can really express the expectations that you may have and where those expectations have not been met. Because that's how you can get meaningful growth, meaningful experiences of love. Yeah. Okay, one more for the week. Gotta love it, eh? Happiness. So that, this energy of the dolphins being in the flow, happiness, the sun, the gentleness of the pink and the softness of the blue. So that's that divine masculine and feminine. And I do believe that what we're going to see this week is where things have been so out of balance in people's lives, maybe in your own life, and that you're going to recognize that you don't need force, or that maybe there is more action that you do need to take. So if you've been someone that's been very forceful in the past, then maybe you're ready to let that go, but maybe you need to take softer, more gentler action. So just looking at that shift and change on the new moon, always, as I say, it's a beautiful time. The moon is absent, it's dark, it's that time of planting new seeds. So write down your manifestations. And I only ever do about 3 each month. I just say 3 things I want to bring in for this next lunar cycle, this next period where we can measure it, where we can let it go and see what unfolds, because we've put a very strong and loving intention into it. So I wish you well. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you again very soon. Before next week, I know that there will be more to talk about. Okay, take care. Bye for now.